What's up? I'm Bea and welcome to my channel. Today we are going to be taking a look at a video posted by Morgan from Paul and Morgan. She has her own vlog channel called Morgan Ollie Vlogs, and she posted a video called Get Ready With Me Q&A, Modesty, the Vaccine, and more. So I had some thoughts on the video and I figured let's go ahead and just get ready together. Let's hang out with Morgan, do our makeup, get ready for the day, and chat about these topics. I'm not going to include every question that she answered because some of them, like one of them is like, what's your dream vacation? I don't really have an opinion on what her dream vacation should look like. That does not interest me. Modesty, the vaccine though, I want to talk about it.
Is getting the vaccine defiling your body? Someone asks. What's up, Momos? Welcome back to my channel.
Hey.
Today we are doing a get ready with me / ask me anything. So as I get ready, I'm going to answer your all's questions. I just woke up today and I was like, I want to be put together. I want to do my hair.
Totally get it.
Different.
Let's do it.
Do a full face of makeup, and yes, I have absolutely nowhere to go and nothing to do other than a few work things, so there's that. But who cares? We don't need a reason to get all fancy.
True.
So yeah, we'll pick out an outfit and everything together. Okay. 3 of my best friends live in a different state. So that's really sad because now I never get to see them. Lucy and Caroline, who you guys have seen before on my other channel and on Instagram, they moved back to Indianapolis, because that's where their family lives. They graduated college, and so that's where they're at. And then Hannah Williamson, who you guys probably have seen before, she lives in...
Hannah is an interesting girl. I don't know if you guys would want like a reaction to her at all. There was a video I did that she was involved in from Paul and Morgan's channel, but yeah, I feel like she is a little bit more extreme in her beliefs than Paul and Morgan are, but she doesn't get as much attention. I'm not sure why, if it's because it's like just her. As opposed to like Paul and Morgan. I feel like together they're very inflammatory, I guess. They cause a lot of friction, so maybe that's why.
In Ohio. So I have no friends. I still have a few friends here that I love dearly. As much as I would love to really cover up this crater, I don't really have the makeup for that. Like, I know that there are some of you guys out there are like makeup geniuses and can easily cover something like this up, but this is all I use for foundation, is this MAC powder foundation, and although it like helps kind of cover it ish, it's still very clearly there. But now
I feel like Morgan and I are like literally in the same boat because I have this one here, and random side note, but we're chatting, we're getting ready. My skin, like, texture abounds. Discoloration, she's here. However, I don't get a lot of like big zits like this one, but when I do, they stay for a long time. And so I've always wanted to try those patches, but I'm like, oh, I don't really need them. I don't get them that much, whatever. Got this one and finally decided to try some patches out, and I did one last night. I don't really think it did anything. We'll see. I don't know. Who knows? Let me know. How bad does it look?
oh, it kind of just looks like a beauty mark, right? Alright, one of you guys said, I want to grow closer to God, but I feel like He doesn't want me to enjoy life if I do, so I don't know. Well,
Paul and Morgan are extremely strict, so anybody who watches them, I 100% get why they would have that perception. It's like, let's take it back to the fact that, like, Paul won't, maybe this is an extreme way of saying it, Paul heavily discourages Morgan from listening to secular music. Now, to be fair to Paul, I kind of get where you would be coming from with this, knowing your own mindset, whether it's related to religion or not. there are certain kinds of music or certain kinds of shows that you might want to avoid because maybe what's being like talked about doesn't align with your morals, or you disagree with some of the things that are happening. You know, for me, like, I avoid a lot of like really angry, amped up music because it does put me in a negative headspace, and so I don't listen to it. But he really is just against secular music of any kind, and I think there's a lot of secular music out there that wouldn't go directly against their beliefs. I don't understand why you should only be listening to Christian music. And so that's just like one small example of how they could get that impression watching Paul and Morgan.
Well, that is what the enemy would love for you to think now, isn't it? That if you gave your life over to the Lord and you really grew deeper with Him, you're literally not going to be able to have any fun in life. You're not going to be able to do anything cool. You're going to miss out on everything that's fun. And
yeah, let's blame it on the enemy. Let's blame it on Satan. Let's not blame it on hyper-judgmental fundamentalist Christians, right? It's not anything that people are doing that would make somebody hesitant to step deeper into their faith. It's Satan. Which, I don't mean to minimize evil or the concept of Satan. As somebody very spiritual, I do think there is negative energy and evil energy that exists, and that does try to interfere with your life and invade your thoughts and invade your brain sometimes. And so I think it's important to be aware of that. But, like, you can't just use Satan as the fall guy for any negative perception of organized religion.
exciting and adventurous, and I just say baloney. Guys, like, following the Lord, yeah, it requires sacrifice, discipline, and there's some hardships. But there's hardships whether you're following the Lord or not. In my opinion, following the Lord and going through hardships is a lot better than not following the Lord and going through hardships, because what do you then have to hope for, or anything, like literally anything? I don't know. I would say that just rebuke that thought and why from the enemy, because that's just goofy. But I get it. I have so much fun in my...
I don't know if that's like, oh, what is there to hope for? I mean, there's a lot of things that people who like aren't religious have to hope for, just in their lives. Like, they have things that mean a lot to them. But as far as like going through tough times, I think a lot of people do rely on their faith, and it is very helpful to be of the belief of like, there is a higher power out there. There is something out there that is looking for my best good or working towards my highest good. Like, I'm not alone. This feels really tough and really overwhelming and scary, but at least I have my faith to like fall back on and help get me through it.
My life, and I've made some of the best memories in my life when I am the deepest with the Lord in my walk with God. And so, yeah, I think, don't worry about it. Okay, someone asked, have you ever gotten catcalled? Has not every woman gotten catcalled? Like, I feel like that's just gonna happen as a woman. You will be catcalled at some point
Probably
in your life. Yes, I have been catcalled many times. It's annoying every single time. I don't remember one time where I was like, that was so fun, and that guy's so cute, because he just whistled at me from across the street.
Really? Not even in like junior high did you feel like, I look good when somebody catcalled you? I don't know about that. I mean, I know that catcalling can be very intimidating and scary in certain situations. I feel like thankful that that's only happened to me like once or twice where I was like really creeped out by catcalling. But I definitely remember in junior high, we had a Dunkin' Donuts like less than a mile away from my neighborhood, and so my friends and I would walk over there and we would get catcalled a lot on the way, where it was like, oh my god, oh my god, we look good. I don't know. Maybe I'm the wrong one. Maybe I'm looking for attention in the wrong places. I mean, not that I'm looking to get catcalled now, but it can be flattering in certain situations.
No, it's so stupid. So guys, quit the catcalling. Alright, next question. Opinion on modesty when it comes to swimsuits. When it comes to
yes, let's talk about
it. It's a very controversial topic, I feel like, you know, because I know several women who are walking deeply with the Lord and they wear bikinis. And I know several women who are walking deeply with the Lord and they would never wear a bikini in their life, and they wear like straight up shorts down to their knees and like t-shirts as bathing suits. And so there's just like this wide range of opinion. I think a lot of it has to do with your own personal conviction, but I think that there is this thing that as women of God we should all have in common, which is the desire to never make a man lust over you, and
to never make a man lust over you. And that's the key phrase that really got my ears ringing. Let's talk about it. So, your job is to never make a man lust over you. Got it. Whatever. How do we explain that, and how do we rationalize that in connection to women who are assaulted when they're like covered head to toe? How do we make that make sense when women get raped or abused or assaulted when they're wearing like jeans and a t-shirt, or when they're dressed modestly? Did they make a man lust over them? Like, is it their fault that just, I don't know, maybe they're wearing a sweater and the curvature of their chest just got him so riled up he could not control himself? You should not have been wearing that form-fitting of a shirt, ma'am. Right? Like, how does that make sense? And this really kind of bothers me because I know you can't really tell, but I'm 5 feet tall, and in high school, my chest developed and I had double D's, like, and I've had them since then. So 5 feet tall, double D chest, growing up in church, there were a lot of times that I was made to feel very ashamed of my body, and that's something that I'm still like really working through, of like, no parts of my body are bad. Like, I'm not doing anything wrong for literally just living in my skin. And somebody commented on my last video on Paul and Morgan about how I was going to make men lustful. How I was going to, when I had my hair in a pony, like a pulled back ponytail, and I was wearing a long sleeve black shirt that literally went up to here. Like, I was wearing my Bailey Sarian Suspicious shirt. Is that a joke? And I will not lie, like, yesterday when I was thinking about filming this video, I was like, I should just come on here in a bikini top. I should come on here in my bikini top that I wear to the beach and film in there and be like, hey, like, you know, leave a comment down below if you were able to listen to the words that came out of my mouth, even though I was distracting you so heavily with my female body. But I knew that that would be an emotional reaction, and that would be something done purely to, like, rile somebody else up, which I don't want to do. Like, I don't want to make anybody mad, because then they're not going to hear what you have to say. Like, if that person came back and saw me retaliating in a way that was, like, making fun of them, they probably would not listen to me any further. But the fact that that comment was left while I was wearing nothing even remotely revealing proves how much of an issue this is, and how many women in religions, especially Christianity, are made to feel ashamed simply for having bodies. It is not okay. Like, it's something that I am still working on, but you don't get to take all the blame off of men for being creeps because they can't control themselves. Like, they're supposed to be the leaders of this household, and they can't control themselves when they see somebody's belly button, or they can't control themselves when somebody has cleavage, or you can see like the bottom part of their butt cheeks in a swimsuit. Women's bodies are not shameful. And if a man's gonna lust after you, essentially, he's gonna lust after you no matter what you're wearing. So whatever you wear does not matter. Morgan. Ooh, I need a little drink before we get back into it.
What you can do to honor your brothers and sisters.
Honor your brothers. How about the brothers worry about what they can do to honor us? How about that? How about we do that and you respect women and just like not be creepy, and you don't act like Paul over here, your husband, going to high school events after he graduated high school looking for a wife. How about that?
I personally would never wear lingerie out in public, so why would I wear a bikini out in public just because it's made of a different material, you know? I just feel like it's so weird how like we're so okay with wearing bikinis, but then like you would be incredibly uncomfortable if anyone saw you in your underwear. It's like, why? I get wanting to wear these cute two-piece itty-bitty bikinis and show off the body that you've worked hard to take care of, or just show off that you're confident. So I don't care what size I am, I'm wearing a bikini because I'm confident in myself. It's such an accepted thing in this world, in our country, in this whole wide world. And so I get it. I get why it's never like even a second thought in most people's minds of like, of course I'm gonna wear a bikini. Like, what? Why? They're cute. Everyone wears them. Who cares? And that's just kind of like where our walks with the Lord have to come first before like what's acceptable in this world. Because if we start just accepting everything that's acceptable in this world, we will no longer be walking with the Lord. We'll be walking with the world. And so just be careful.
Morgan, can you, if you ever see this, please explain to me what about wearing a bikini impacts my level of faith? How does it lessen my faith? How does it lessen my walk with God? Is the only reason that you can give because it might tempt another person? Because again, like, we should be raising men to respect women.
I don't think that I can actually like talk to you guys while doing my eyebrows because that's just way too challenging for me. So I'll be right back.
So I'm pretty much done. Like, the extent of makeup that I do if I'm ever being like, oh, I'm gonna get ready for the day, this is pretty much it, other than mascara. So I'm like ready to move on to that. But also, I don't know, I brought all this stuff out here. Should we go for it? Should we go for a look? Probably not. Probably not like a full look, but I'll do a little something to the eyes.
Alright, let's answer another question as I sit here and try to decide what to do with my hair. Is getting the vaccine defiling your body? Someone asked.
Let's chat.
I think I would say it's defiling your body. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of extreme.
Good.
I think that you should really weigh out all of your options before getting it. I think that, yeah, I personally am not going to be getting the vaccine. I know. A lot of people have opinions about it, but that's just where Paul and I are at, and that's where we're gonna leave it. So I respect your decision, you respect mine.
You're a public figure. We are in a national health crisis. If somebody asks you about that and you're going to talk about it, you probably should give like more info on that. Because, okay, one sec. Okay, I'm waiting for my mascara primer to dry. So let's talk about this. You don't have to tell anybody anything about your personal health decisions. You are not obligated to share that information with your audience. However, if somebody asks you about the vaccine and you choose to answer, you need to share more about that. Because if you are skeptical of the vaccine, if you want to wait it out a little bit, if you are just nervous about getting it and you're wanting to not like rush to go out and get it, totally fine. I was super skeptical. I got vaccinated. I have not talked about it publicly because after I got vaccinated, I had an intensely horrible reaction to it that lasted like 2 to 3 weeks, and it was really, really rough. But they were all side effects that I was aware could happen. And so I just didn't share that I got it. And then after the side effects subsided, I was like kind of weird to like go back and be like, just got vaxxed, or like got vaxxed 3 weeks ago. So I just haven't spoken about it. But I'm vaxxed up, got the Johnson & Johnson, doing fine now. Anyway, back to the point though. If you are going to choose not to get vaccinated, that is your right. Like, that is you're right. As an American, you do not have to get the vaccine. But we are still in a crisis. Like, we're still having problems. People are still getting sick. So, you should probably, I mean, I don't know if she's doing this or not, but if you're going to choose not to get vaccinated, you better be staying home. You better be masked everywhere you go. You better limit your social interactions and do your part because you don't want to get the vaccine. People want to talk about, oh, like, we haven't had measles in forever. We haven't had polio in forever. So why would I get my kid vaccinated? Because herd immunity is a thing. Because other people are vaccinating their kids so yours doesn't get sick. Like, it's really selfish. And I'm not somebody who wants to get up here on a soapbox and tell people how to live their lives. I get it. People want to go out. People want to have fun. Get the vaccine. Like, it's really that simple. Get the vaccine or keep wearing your mask and limit your social interactions. You should be being responsible about this and saying, like, we're comfortable where we're at. We're not going to get it, but we're still going to be responsible in these following ways. Because that's what you should do as a person who has influence.
Alright, I'm going to go get some work done, and then I will answer some more questions as we maybe go on a little drive to Hobby Lobby or somewhere else.
I always like the idea of car vlogs because, you know, like, why not chat with your friends, like, make a video while you're driving. But also, I tried to do it one time, and the result was not good. Like, I got so self-conscious about filming in a car and, like, thinking other people could see me, so I don't do those anymore.
I am back, and I'm in my car.
Welcome.
And I went to Hobby Lobby. So before I start driving, and sorry about the steering wheel, but, you know, gotta do what you gotta do, I thought I would answer another question. Ooh, this is a good one. Alright, how to tell your partner in a nice way they need to put more effort into the relationship.
We'll talk about this one.
Okay, I'm back. I decided I would drive and not try to film and talk and drive at the same time. So, to answer that question, I think it's just all about how you go about it. You need to be very smart in how you bring this conversation up. You need to make sure that you compliment before you bring up the your desire for him to put more and invest more into this relationship. If you guys are married, obviously you're going to have to work through this. He's going to have to learn how to put more into the relationship, into your all's marriage. If you guys are dating and you have this conversation, you bring it up of like, hey, you know, you're not putting enough into this relationship. I don't even feel like it's a priority. And he doesn't really do much about it after that conversation. I would say maybe take that as a sign to beep, boop, boop, walk away. That's just my opinion. But, you know, obviously give him a chance. But just say the main thing is to be very, very careful in how you bring this up. Because you don't want to just, like, start bashing someone. That's just mean. And so,
yeah,
careful.
for sure.
All right,
for sure. You don't just want to, like, bash somebody. You should, I agree, you should have, like, a constructive approach and, like, give them compliments, make them, like, do your best to make sure that they don't feel attacked. Obviously, they'll hear it however they're going to hear it, but do your part to, like, not be mean to them. However, I would add two things. First of all, I would try to do your best, if you haven't done this, to figure out what their version of loving you looks like. Because this is something that, like, struck a chord for me. What was the quote? It's something like, just because somebody isn't loving you the way that you think they should love you doesn't mean they're not doing it the best they can. They're not loving you the hardest that they can. And no, it's gonna bug me. I need to figure it out. Okay, here it is. It says, because someone doesn't love you the way you want them to doesn't mean they don't love you with all they have. And, like, that really stuck with me. It doesn't mean that, like, if you're not getting what you need out of a relationship, you should stay just because they're doing the best. Like, you still have to have a kind of love and be treated in the way that is most fulfilling to you and that works for you. But maybe that person is putting in the effort. Maybe they're doing it in their best way or in their approach. And so I think that you should be careful with saying, like, again, this is a very broad question, but you should be careful when thinking that somebody's not putting effort into the relationship. And that's why it's important to know your partner's love language, because maybe they are. Like, maybe for them, the way that they express love and express effort is what is, like, most meaningful to them, and maybe you just have a different love language. Personal example for me is words of affirmation don't really do much for me. For my husband, though, he very much gives and receives love through words of affirmation. So he is constantly thanking me for things. Like, even when we, like, go out to eat, he'll be like, thank you for going on a date with me. And that's just the way that he expresses love, is by using those words. And so I've had to make sure that I am verbally saying things and I'm verbally thanking him for things and expressing my love and appreciation in that way, even though it's not natural to me. So that's why it's important to know how your partner gives and receives love, because it might just be a miscommunication in that area. Secondly, I would also just add, be specific. If you say you're not putting effort into the relationship, that's very broad and kind of comes off a little bit mean. If somebody is straight up not putting any effort whatsoever into the relationship, like literally just nothing, probably shows you that they're not super dedicated to the relationship. So there would have to be a lot for them to change and work on in order to make you feel loved and fulfilled. But if it's just a few specific things where you wish that they would like take the lead on like planning dates, or you wish that they would communicate with you more often or invite you to family functions, like whatever it is, if it's specific things that you would like them to put more effort towards, you should give them that, because that's a tangible thing. Just saying you're not putting any effort into the relationship is probably going to make them feel defeated and like, well, where do I even start? You need to tell them where to start.
We're back! I just said that.
We're back.
I thought I would bring Paul into this Q&A.
You guys know that,
And Squishy wants to be in the Q&A too.
you guys know I enjoy interacting with you all and being in front of the camera.
Oh my goodness!
You don't have to hit me. Just tell me I enjoy it.
It was a love tap.
They can hear it. It was a slap.
This is so uncomfortable. What? Like, this is not funny. Look, again, Rick and I have that humor where, like, he'll reach for, like, a fry off my plate, and I give him a little tap. But it's literally a joke, and I don't think Paul thinks that these are jokes. And I don't know if Morgan actually thinks they're jokes, or if she's, like going at him in anger. I don't know. But if Paul does not like being touched in that way, or you putting your hand over his mouth, or, like, physically restraining him like that, don't do it, Morgan. Like, it's not funny. It's not cute and silly. If he does not like it and he feels disrespected, as much as I don't like Paul, he's a person. Like, respect his autonomy and don't touch him like that if he doesn't like it.
Here's one for you, babe. How do you maintain such beautiful hair and skin?
But I think this one was intentionally for you.
Just kidding. Okay, is it better... Oh, were you gonna answer it?
I was.
Okay, tell us.
Honestly, guys, like, your diet and your lifestyle play a big part. So, are you living a healthy lifestyle? And then on top of that, some good hair product, taking showers, yada yada, you know the drill. Alright.
Okay, is it better to go to a lukewarm church that has fellowship, or stay home and watch online?
Oh, wow. I think God can meet you in a lukewarm church, but I also think that more likely than not, it's just going to become more and more frustrating. This is just my personal, off the top of my head. I think it's going to become more and more frustrating. Unless God brings revival there, you're probably eventually going to transition to somewhere that's more on fire. More just has a real, hunger for the Lord. So it's I would just scrap both of those options and find a church that's a little more alive. I would not suggest staying home and watching it online. That can only go so far. It only does so much.
Fair enough. This is fine. I think your faith journey should be about what you need, about what fulfills your needs and your desires in terms of your relationship and development religiously. If you're sitting here saying, like, this is a lukewarm church, but I have fellowship, that's probably a sign that you do need something more, that, like, you're noticing a problem. And for some people, the fellowship and being around people who are like-minded individuals and who you guys can openly talk about faith together, like, that might be what you need. Maybe you do need to stay home. Maybe you need to, like, find a different online church, or really take that time to work on your individual relationship with God by spending a lot of that alone time, or like time with your family who lives with you, watching and talking about the service and making that a ritual. Maybe you do need to find a new church altogether. I don't think that any of those options are bad, though, because everybody needs different things, and that has to really be up to you. You shouldn't be asking Paul and Morgan what church you should go to. You should do whatever is best for you.
I'm about to trim them up.
Sure. Okay, they're asking about this for me, but I think you can all.
Why are you disparaging your husband's looks on camera? I don't know. Paul does not seem like a very, like, easygoing, joking around kind of guy, and I think he's probably taking a decent amount of ego hits every time you do that.
Also answer, would you still hold the same beliefs if you were not born into a fundamentalism, like Christian home / married to P or N?
That's a good question.
It is a good question, and it's like, we can't really answer that for sure because we have no idea.
I think he's mad. I didn't realize this the first time I watched it. Look how, like, far away from her he is, how he's turned to the other side. This is very uncomfortable.
We were dealt the hand of cards that we were dealt. When I became, like, 17, 18, I really kind of went down a journey of my own and questioned things and just kind of had to decide, like, do I really believe this stuff? And I probably was on that journey from, like, 18 to 21. And then I personally just decided, like, God, I want you, I desire you, I want to walk with you every day of my life for the rest of my life. So it was a very personal decision, but yeah.
Guys, it's not guaranteed that if you grow up in that environment, you're going to stick to it.
Definitely. I think we see that it's pretty common for a lot of people who grew up in supposedly strong Christian homes leave the faith.
Yeah, and maybe they're, living conditions that seemed stronger Christian than it was, and then you come to find out one of the parents was living in deep sin, and that kind of affected stuff, whatever. But I do think that there's people who live in a strong Christian home, a lot of times maybe later on in life, they'll return to the faith and that foundation that was laid. Yeah, I mean, that's a big question, whether you're raised in it or you're raised very far away from it. The Lord working in our lives, and then if we dedicate, like Morgan said, our lives to what does the Bible say, that's going to put us down the right path.
Yeah.
All right.
I think they meant, would you be, like, as extreme as you are? Would y'all be a little bit more like the people that you criticize so harshly if you did not grow up in the type of environment that you grew up in? Would we be besties? This one-dimensional thing of, like, oh, just follow the Bible and everything else will work out. No, you gotta address, like, real freaking issues, real life, real world issues that other humans that we claim to love and we should care about, like, other humans are facing really traumatic things right now, and they're dealing with a lot. Paul and Morgan's sect of Christianity does not have the best track record in living up to how I think Jesus would treat people. But, like, it's very easy to distance yourself from real life issues when you limit yourself to the way that Paul and Morgan limit themselves. When it's like, oh, it all goes back to the church, it all goes back to the Bible. You don't have to confront your internalized bigotry when nothing's, like, your fault. Nothing's on you. It's all about the Bible.
With that said, Momo's out.
Alright, you guys, that was a fun time.
Sweet.
I hope that I answered your questions. If I didn't answer your specific question on Instagram, make sure you keep your eye out because I'm gonna do more of these. And I want to do one like
Bye, guys.
I want to do one specifically on like love and relationships and stuff like that, but that'll come later on. I hope you guys enjoyed hanging out with me, getting ready with me, doing a little bit of shopping with me. I am excited to see you guys next vlog. Comment below and let me know your all's opinions on bikinis and modesty. Do you guys agree or disagree with what I said? Where are you all coming from?
Whatever. I disagree. We know this. That's all I've got. Thank you for hanging out with me. Let me know down below if you would like me to react to her video whenever it comes out about love and relationships and share my perspective on that. Also, be on the lookout for chapters 3 and 4 of To Train Up a Child. I think it's going to be a little bit surprising because there are certain aspects within those chapters specifically that I was like, yeah, that's. I found myself like nodding along and having to keep myself in check of like, keep in mind they advocate training your child and hitting them for absolutely no reason other than to create obedience robots. That's all I've got. Thank you so much for watching. Please let me know your thoughts down below, and while you're doing that, if you would consider liking this video or subscribing to my channel, that would be incredible. And if you have subscribed already, thank you so much. I am so appreciative of you. I love being able to just sit here, hang out with you, and talk about whatever. With all that being said, I am going to go ahead and let you go. Thank you again so much for watching. Please be kind to people, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.